Superheroes are a big part of a modern day pop culture, if not the biggest, with Marvel's massive cinematic universe changing the definition of a superhero fan from a nerd before the time of the first Iron Man movie to literally anyone, like even your 96-year-old Nana, your dog, your neighbor's dog, Snoop Dogg, people with live, love and laugh posters, and last but not the least, the guy in the back alley who tried to shank you but was wearing a really cool Thor t-shirt. In the earlier works, the idea of a superhero was of someone with superhuman abilities, but so were supervillains. Which raises the question, what makes a superhero different from a supervillain? And the answer to that, morality. A superhero always fights for justice, stands for the right thing, world peace, and by world I mean America, like literally just United States of America. But what if the morality of the superhero was flawed? What if he only saved lives for his own personal gain? What if being a superhero was a job instead of a good deed out of one's own goodwill? Modern day superheroes have been faced with such questions. What if being a superhero was a job? Now, there are three major examples of that. First, One Punch Man, then Boku no Hero Academia or My Hero Academia, and last but not the least, the new Amazon Prime show, The Boys. Warning, this video will contain spoilers for My Hero Academia and The Boys. The society and its heroes. My Hero Academia shows us a society where superhuman powers are a commonplace thing, and what is unusual and rare is that if you don't have one. Here, superpowers are called quirks, so I'll be referring to them as that. In My Hero Academia, anyone with a quirk can become a hero, and it is every child's dream to become a hero and fight for justice, even the ones without the quirk. Whereas in The Boys, not everyone is an individual with superhuman powers, but there are enough people for it to be a profession. In Hero Aka, we are shown things from the perspective of the hero's side, primarily through the perspective of our protagonist, Midoriya Izuku. Midoriya Izuku! But the series later delves into the villain side of things, with the most recent arc being focused primarily on our main antagonist, Shigaraki and his group, the League of Villains. In The Boys, we are shown things from the perspective of the Boys, a group of vigilantes whose main motive is to keep the Supes in check and expose their true nature to the society. And then we have Starlight, a newly recruited superhero through whom we see the true corrupt nature of the Supes. Hero Aka shows heroes in a positive light when compared to The Boys, in which they are presented as these two-faced assholes who outside of their superhero personas are complete and utter cunts. The Boys is targeted at a more mature audience with its heavy sexual tone in parts and its gore-heavy violent scenes. The show right off the bat shows us the contrast between how the Supes are presented to the public versus how they are in reality. And that too with a very brutal scene of our protagonist Huey witnessing his girlfriend Robin getting killed in a high-velocity impact with superhero A-Train. Whereas My Hero Academia is a show about the journey of our protagonist, Midoriya Izuku, becoming the #1 hero. And the show starts with showing us the struggles of a child with no quirks aspiring to be a hero. Both shows have a very different take on heroes. One is strongly anti-hero and the other is in favor of them. The common thing in both of them is the perception of the heroes. To the public, the heroes are individuals who use their powers/quirks to protect the citizens from villains, natural disasters, or any kind of harm. The difference in motive and the direction of the story are the reason behind how the heroes are portrayed in both the works. One wants to show the evolution of society with the superheroes, whereas the latter wants to show the destruction of it. In Hero Aka, even behind the scenes, all the heroes are upstanding citizens They all have a strong sense of justice and are good people in general. Different heroes have different roles depending on their powers, and there is a very healthy,
You can regenerate. Well then.
relatively healthy competition between all of them. Whereas in The Boys, outside of public knowledge, heroes are grade A assholes and egotistical cunts, who, if there was no need for it, would let the whole world burn if it was for their own personal gain. Let's take a case scenario. In The Boys, a plane gets hijacked by a group of terrorists, and to take care of the incident, they send their top two heroes, Homelander, who is basically Captain America's degenerate son with Superman's powers, Queen Maeve, basically Wonder Woman. So those two get in the plane, kill the baddies, then get into the cockpit where they find more baddies, but then Homelander fucks up and shoots the cockpit, which you will not guess results in the plane malfunctioning. So when the question comes of how they will save the passengers, Homelander says, fuck them. In this scenario, Queen Maeve suggests Homelander that he should pick up the plane and land it to safety, to which Homelander says, it's ridiculous, it's not possible. And then she suggests that he should take each and every single passenger off from the plane and put them on land. To which he says he doesn't want to bother because it would be too much fucking work. Can you believe this guy? So they basically just abandon them. Now let's see how this scenario would play out in My Hero Academia universe. Now, All Might accompanied with another hero with the ability to fly would get into the plane, take care of the baddies, then get into the cockpit, and they would never let the scenario of the plane malfunctioning happen because All Might thinks before he fucking acts, unlike Homelander. But for the sake of comparison, let's say that the plane starts to malfunction. All Might would take it upon himself to get under the plane and land it on his feet, even without the power to fly. He would take all the damage to make sure that not even a single person is hurt. Without a second thought, he would take all the damage for the sake of the people. This is an ideal case scenario of how people would think the thing would play out in a superhero world. Whereas The Boys presents the worst case scenario of how the things would play out. The reality of My Hero Academia is that of a traditional superhero story, where the heroes are expected to save the citizen, even if it means sacrificing themselves for no personal gain. Whereas in The Boys, the heroes do whatever the fuck they want as long as it doesn't affect their popularity and fame. Now, I would say the reason behind this contrast is because of how they are raised. One of the major factors which contributes to the dysfunctional society of The Boys is how the people with superpowers become superheroes. To be a hero in this universe is equal to being a celebrity. There is no training, no degree, or license required to be a hero. What? A hero license? That shit would be boring! People with superpowers join a company called the Vogue. So, right off the bat, the heroes have no involvement with the government. They are governed and regulated by a private organization. The Vogue doesn't provide any training to the heroes on how they should control their powers or how they should use them. To the company, the heroes are a product. So what they are taught is how to keep a good public image. As their main concern is their popularity, there is always competition between the supes for it. The competition is very unhealthy and it is purely based off how strong they are, which was the reason why A-Train was drugging himself to be the fastest hero. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't be the part of the 7, the strongest and the most popular heroes. Which would mean that he would fall out of relevancy as the company wouldn't market him because nobody wants to buy merchandise or watch movies on the second fastest man. Yes, the supes act in movies and have a big superhero multiverse like the MCU. They do advertisements, have merchandise, and have influence over religion. What Vogue runs is a business, and what businesses want is to generate revenue, get bigger, and have more influence. So, the very foundation of the superhero society is based on greed and lust for power. I don't know, man. Sounds like an evil organization to me. And now, if we look into the My Hero Academia universe, those who take heroism as a profession are referred to as pro-heroes. The pro-heroes are under government's check so they can be held accountable for their misconduct. For them, there are proper rules and regulations for when they can use their quirks. There's a whole schooling system, they get proper training, there are internships, a whole group of elite mentors to guide the young budding heroes from a proper age. They have hero exams, hero license exams, and no matter how boring it sounds, it is very important to keep the heroes in check and make sure they never stray off the right path. These regulations, these trainings, these exams are the reason why the heroes in My Hero Academia universe are such good people and upstanding citizens. It is because they have worked towards what they wanted and have earned the right to be called a hero. And now if we talk about the competition, professional heroes are ranked by taking in account of several factors such as the number of cases solved, general popularity, level of social contribution. There is the Hero Public Safety Commission, which reviews the activity over the past years and uses a formula to organize all the mentioned factors to rank all the heroes. So this means the heroes aren't just ranked nilly-willy based on their strength like in The Boys. You can punch hard, but I can punch harder. That's why I'm number one.
Oh yeah? What if I told you that wasn't even my real strength? I can punch harder than the harder punch you can punch than my hard punch.
Shit, man. Now, if you look into the business side of heroes in My Hero Academia, the most we have seen is merchandise, and the money of the merchandise goes into funding the heroes' hero firm. So the heroes are owner of their own businesses while working alongside the government, maintaining an equilibrium. Now, from what all I just rambled to you guys points towards one thing. The reason behind the corrupt and the arrogant heroes in The Boys comes from the lack of law and control over them. There being no system to keep them in check and there being no training or licensing system for them. Now if we talk about which is the better superhero story, that is debatable. While The Boys is a more quote-unquote realistic depiction of a superhero society, it is also, as much as I hate to use this term, it is very edgy. However, it is a lot of fun. And for My Hero Academia, it is very well written and it is more interested in building a world and building lore and telling a story about the journey of a boy becoming a hero. Thank you guys for watching and sticking along with me till the end. I would love to read what you guys think about the superhero society in both the works. And if you enjoyed my content and found it interesting, please give it a like and consider subscribing because it really boosts my morale and it actually really just makes my day. It really makes me happy. And I'll see you guys in the next video.